Hello and welcome to Back to the Boardroom. I'm James.
And I'm Greer.
And this week we are on vegan cheeses. Are you a big softie?
What a weird name and what a weird task. Are you someone that goes by a vegan diet, or have you tried vegan cheese before?
I feel like I have actually, mainly not because any of my family members are vegan, but my brother is dairy free. So essentially that's vegan cheese, right? I guess.
Yeah, dairy's the element that comes from the animal, right?
It's not very nice.
Cheese is a big part of my life, so I feel like vegan cheese just can't live up to it. But who knows? They might try and make one that's really, really good one day, but I don't think it's going to be any of these ones, do you?
No, probably not. But before we talk about cheese, I have to talk about pies.
Yes.
Right, 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Let me just get my prop.
James has a prop, something to show us. If you're just listening to the audio on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, head over to our YouTube channel and you can see the Turner's Pies by Postbox from Phil's Pie Company.
We've even got a little...
Oh, look. He's got a leaflet with a picture of him in his Apprentice attire, his publicity shot, going in all of the pies. Did he sign as an autograph at all?
We didn't get an autograph, no. Unfortunately,
that's all right.
Next
we got
time.
free pie, so...
Absolutely. So, update on this. The pies have arrived. There was a little issue with the courier. Nothing wrong with Turner's Pies. I'm not going to eat them or taste them on today's show. And I'll tell you the reasons why. So, we're recording after The Apprentice, and I could not do a whole pie justice at
quarter to 11.
Quarter to 11. I would probably heat it up, eat a slice, and I don't want to waste the pie. So we are going to figure out logistics now we've got the pies and do the taste testing justice. So apologies if you were looking forward to that. They have arrived. Thank you, Phil. But we need a few more days to figure out what we're doing, but we will be doing it because there are some scrumptious pies in that fridge.
Scrumptious spreads and scrumptious pies. And our discussions about the vegan cheese and the strange flavours this week might put you off eating the pies. But yeah, thanks, Phil, for sending us some. We are really looking forward to trying them. And maybe we'll do that next week instead. Let's get on with the cheese, shall we? So the task this week obviously was create a vegan alternative to cheese. They had to create their own recipe, design branding and packaging, and then they had the chance to pitch to 2 major retailers. And then the winner would be the one with the most orders. And now, I've got to say, Lord Alan Sugar actually turned up to Chiswick that morning at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m.
4 a.m. I'm sure he wasn't getting there at 5 a.m. But yes, he did turn up, so plus points for Lord Sugar.
I am quite... I like facts and I like bits of trivia, and I like the fact that Chiswick was originally called Cheesewick, which I had no idea, and there's a monthly cheese market. It's going to go on my calendar. I'm going to go, definitely.
Yeah, they said this was Old English for cheese farm, so definitely a destination. I know Joe is a big fan of cheese, so... that'll be on our to-do list at some point, I think. I'm
going to invite myself on your couple's trip to the cheese market. And Joe and I can eat cheese all day, and you can carry around other cheeses that we buy. So there was a bit of a shake-up on the teams this week as well. Trey, he moved over to Nexus this week, and I wonder how he felt about that. Obviously, it might have not been what he wanted to do. But then... we had Phil in the project manager position because he was told, you have to be it this week or you're gone. And Rachel stepped up on the other team to be project manager. I wasn't sure who I was expecting to step up, but I didn't think Rachel. I was quite surprised.
Yeah, so no one really wanted to take this on. And Rachel's reasoning that she could be project manager was because she's had vegan cheese in a burger.
Excellent reasoning. It's just as good as every week. I quite like the idea that Phil had to do a sleek, high-end product, a gourmet product I thought might be quite good, really concentrating on the taste. Now, I don't really know where Rachel's head was at, but she went with exotic cheese, which, okay, you do get some good cheese flavours and inclusions, but I don't know if I can think of a cheese that I've had that's been exotic. They're all quite of a similar fashion, but they just do it really well. But yeah, have you ever had an exotic cheese?
I don't know if I'd call mine exotic, but I am partial to cranberries in cheese or apricot.
Ooh. Are you like a Wensleydale or a Stilton?
That's exactly the one, Wensleydale. The rest of my family hate it, so they have to buy it at Christmas just for me.
I like it. There's a bit of sweetness in there. I will give you a cheese recommendation if you're listening and you want to try out a new one. Now, I don't know if they just stocked it for Christmas, but I bought a smoked red Leicester called Red Fox or something. I think it was Red Fox. And it was unreal. I don't usually go for red Leicester because I just find it quite bland and it's very mild. I have to have a strong taste. But this smoked one, it was like eating, you know, that cosy warm feeling sat near the fire like at Christmas. It was like eating that on a cracker. It was so good.
I'm gonna bring down the what's the word? Bring down the quality here and say I really like red Leicester cheddars.
Red Leicester cheddars. No,
they're so good.
They're actually very good. Better than the original cheddars, I think. Yeah. I thought you were going to say like a, what is it, Dairyly Dunkable or something that you'd liked.
Oh. No, Red Leicester cheddars. Oh, they're top tier, Chris.
That's good. But would you have eaten a Red Leicester cheddar with a truffle, vegan bacon and black pepper soft cheese? That's vegan, obviously.
It would have to go on those boring dry crackers. Oh, I can't remember what they're called. They're called crackers. Something like table water or something. I think that's the name of a cracker.
Water biscuits or something. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah, or the classic Jacob Square.
I don't know. I'd want to try that one over the exotic curry-flavoured cheese.
So now it's time for the elevator pitch, which, if you're new here, is when myself and Greer have normally 60 seconds on the clock to pitch our idea to you, the listeners, and maybe even Lord Sugar, to see if we have the business acumen it takes to win over your heart, money, whatever. No real money is exchanged.
Yes, please send us money. Only if I win.
Anyway, this week, obviously, the topic of vegan cheese. So we are going to give it a go in 60 seconds, come up with a product, some sort of branding and approach. And we start with Greer.
God, okay, I'm going first this week. No pressure. But as I said, I feel like I'm a cheese connoisseur, so maybe my idea will be good this week, finally.
Are you ready? Feeling ready?
I guess so. We'll give it a good go.
Okay, we got 60 seconds on the clock, Greer, starting now.
So I was thinking, what is coming up and what is everyone looking forward to? The summer, a big part of the summer barbecues. Now, vegans, limited options, but I was thinking you can now enjoy a cheeseburger with my brand new vegan cheese alternative brand, Easy Cheesies, which are round, circular cheeses of very different flavours that you can put on top of your bean burger or your vegetable burger, whatever you like. And because my mind was thinking back to my favourite Christmas cheese that I had this year, I went with a smoky cheese like an applewood or a beechwood, but I also thought chili cheese might be a nice addition as well, make it flavoursome and make it have a bit of a bite. So I thought summer barbecues, vegans have probably liked the socialising, but now they can enjoy the food too with Easy Cheesies. Do you like it? I'm done.
There we go. 10 seconds to spare.
Oh, I could have waffled on more about different cheese types, but I thought save the listener from hearing my voice any more than they have to.
I really like the name Easy Cheesy. Mine is absolutely awful. So I think I'm going to do really bad my idea sucks. There is
No.
something in common, actually, between our two ideas, which
That's funny.
you'll know in a second. But I just want to get this over because I'm going to make a fool of myself.
No.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
It's only us. You're not going to make a fool of yourself. The loyal listeners and me. Are you ready?
I am ready.
60 seconds on the clock. Starting now.
Right, so for your vegan cheese alternatives, I don't know where I was going with this, but I thought, you know what, sour cream and chive, but how about with some chili as well? Not sure why. There's the commonality. It's called chivesy. Don't know why. And we're going to go with bold red and green packaging, because I guess sour cream, well, some alternative sour cream you'll associate with green as well as chive, and then also chili you can associate with both red and green, so we're gonna have some sort of mash up loud packaging there. I don't really know what the use is. Put it on a Ritz cracker, have a good time. Perfect for a night in with the telly.
4 seconds left. That was some expert pitching. I enjoyed Chivesy.
Chivesy.
Chivesy. Sounds like a posh nickname. You know how you get like, I don't know, Biffo and whatever. Chivesy.
Chivesy.
I like that. Someone that went to Eton that's now part of our government. I like exactly. that. You've gone with the packaging. I didn't think about packaging for Easy Cheesy. So I'm impressed. It will stand out on the shelf, unlike trays and Steve's or whoever made terrible packaging this week.
That font was so small.
It was bad. Not good. I think Chivesy and Easy Cheesies, I'd try those over the ones that we were given. Definitely. Yeah. Please let us know in the comments on Instagram at Back to the Boardroom or in our YouTube comments who you think did the best pitch this week. And we'll both be very happy. I wonder if we can look back at the comments and come up with who's won the elevator pitches. Some more homework for you there, James. Shall we go through some of our favourite moments of the week then? Because there were so many good ones. We say that every week. There were some brilliant quotes, but we get everything that we love. Bad branding, terrible fonts, annoyed designers, and the first thing I want to talk about, we've spoken about it obviously a bit already, is the flavours. But I don't understand how they could develop flavours just so wrong. Every time there's a food task, it's like they've never eaten anything before in their lives and it goes out of the window. Steve, what were you talking about? Curry cheese?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was, I think they were trying to do I think it was said in the show, they're trying to do too much radical stuff at once, and it was a gamble, didn't work, and ultimately paid the price.
I think it was interesting, wasn't it? I don't imagine it tasted nice. Lord Sugar said it was an acquired taste, and then the people they pitched to really didn't like it. It was gutsy.
Yeah, but their other option, which was matcha and pomegranate, could have been quite interesting as well. So even if they'd gone that way, I don't know.
And that's coming from the man that loves fruit in his cheese.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, not good. At least Phil, with his truffle, fake bacon and black pepper, that is a good combination. They are foodstuffs and flavours that go together. You could tell you work in a food business. Yeah, and cumin, turmeric, garlic puree. They also said charcoal cheese as well. All of them were a bit zany, never going to work.
Yeah, definitely. And I think even Lord Sugar said it's quite nice. For the truffle spread, it was just as everyone said, not enough truffle. But maybe if they'd have gone the other way and had too much truffle, I think they would have lost it.
Yeah, I think so. Go low. I think people would have really complained if there was too much. It can be rectified easier, I think, especially in people's minds, adding a bit more. Yeah, I was surprised Lord Sugar said it actually tasted all right or nice. I don't know if we went as far as nice, but definitely it was edible for Lord Sugar.
He did go nice, I think.
Did he?
Think, just looking at my notes, he said quite nice, I believe.
What a compliment.
I know. Yeah.
I was surprised in Rachel's team that, okay, there was an odd number of people, but one person had to do the bulk of branding, a video, coming up with the name, the design, logo, everything. And I felt really bad for Felicia. She had to do all of it. But maybe that was wrong on Rachel's behalf. She should have sent someone along because there were more tasks to do than just picking the flavour of the cheese.
Yeah, from the get-go at the start where they reeled off the tasks, I thought, that's a hell of a lot for one person to do on their own. So, yeah.
One of the things that I really liked is because she was on her own, she sort of was saying the names that she was coming up with to the designer. Yes. And this man had a wonderfully expressive face. He sort of was rolling his eyes very subtly, and they included it a few times. But she came up with udder free. I did not like that one.
But the one that got me, though, was before they'd split with Steve going cheek and bees.
I think it's provided the best joke ever. I thought that was kind of funny anyway. Bad name. Yeah. But when Lord Sugar said it's tucking Ferrable in the boardroom, I was like, that is the best joke that's ever been made on The Apprentice.
Yeah, no. Did get a few laughs.
It did. Did you see that he said it twice as well? Lord Sugar. He said that twice. I feel like he was like, I'm having my moment. This is a good joke. Yeah.
I did not notice that, no.
Oh, he knew what he was doing. But what did you make of the videos? Now, but they had to do TikTok videos, obviously. They had to be eye-catching, but also explain what the product is. I mean, both of them were awful. All the videos are bad. Even if we had DJ Verdi here, the international DJ, they would still be bad.
Yeah, probably. So from the concept, I liked Trey's concept. I thought it could have been quite fun. I think it didn't turn out as well as I thought, but yeah, I thought it was definitely by far the best of the two. Yeah. It got the information there. It was a little slow. Could have been a little more snappy and punchy, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't do the actual rap himself. He'd written it, and okay, he was probably enjoying directing, but I just thought Flo seemed so uncomfortable. She gave it a good go, but Trey would have been probably more charismatic because he's known for doing that sort of thing. But I liked the sort of the jumping transitions, but it was, as you said, really slow, and I hated that you could hear. Why did they not edit out the jump noise, like hitting the floor? I hated that. You don't see that on these viral videos that go around. They need the music turned up really high or something. It was just embarrassing.
Yeah, not great, but better than whatever Beluso's video was meant to be. Because at the start, the cameraman just didn't even know, because she had to go, that was actually part of the video. Because she did like the, making signs and stuff, and then voiceover later, which probably wasn't a bad idea, given that it was only herself. Just, I don't know, just didn't really pull it off. Didn't explain really what it was about. I think it's a theme. A lot of the promotional videos and stuff in this series have been missing the point, spending too much time on. A couple of episodes ago, there was a couple of women on phones for no reason, and then you got this episode where you've got the random joke about, not that change of scenery, and it just, I don't know, it's just spent too much time not focusing on what it should have focused on.
Yeah, they were sort of spending time, I guess, on the sort of gimmicks. I get what she was going for, but she seemed really awkward. It seemed a bit at the beginning like when you're on the airplane and you're being told what the safety exits are. She was doing this a lot. Yeah, exactly. A bit embarrassing, but again, she was doing it on her own, so I get it. But it did have that really great line in Faluso's video that said, "Are you looking for a change of scenery?" But then it was like, "Here is a vegan alternative to cheese" or something, and I'm like, "You've just gone from the beach to actually no, we're talking about vegan cheese," which made no sense.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure very time pressured task, especially with one person. I think bouncing ideas off yourself would have been so difficult. So.
Exactly. I thought she did well on the packaging. Okay, it wasn't amazing, but it was much better than the other teams. But she did land on Big Softy, which sounds like the ice cream, like Mr. Soft, the whippy ice cream. It also just sounds a bit rude. I thought not great.
I agree. I thought her packaging was 10 times better than the other teams. So yeah, fair play.
I felt it was quite unfair when they did the pitching, when the experts were saying to Faluso, "Why didn't you have the product in the video? Why didn't you show anything?" And I thought, well, that's the nature of the task. She hasn't got the product or knows what it is yet when making the video, because they were just doing it in one day. So I kind of wish the experts had been briefed on the fact that she didn't have the product, and then they could have said, "Why didn't you show cheese or something, food?" Because that just seemed a bit unfair, like they didn't know what the process was like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought that too. It was
Bit weird. I was surprised that a lot of the candidates were really fumbling the pitch. Everyone was tripping over their words. Were they really nervous? Were they unsure what they were saying? It was just, everyone seemed to be like, vegan, and it was just really embarrassing. I thought they were business people. Come on, be confident. You're on the television. You obviously know what you're talking about.
I thought it was a good decision by Phil to get Trey on the pitch, because we know that's one of his strengths. He can really put that passion behind a product. But then I was surprised to see Phil starting the pitch. I thought Trey could really push that. Maybe he was asked as project manager to lead something we don't know. But yeah, I thought good decision from him there.
Do you have any other top moments that stood out for you this week that we haven't gone through?
Two of Lord Sugar's jokes.
Yes.
Or his quotes. He said about the rap, that bloke Stormzy out there, should he be worried? But then he did say the video wasn't too bad.
That's good.
But for that team. And also in relation to the branding for Nexus, he commented on, the blank space of the branding, and he cracked a not mushroom on there joke.
God.
Which was definitely pre-prepared.
There's some dad jokes. This is slightly off topic, but I came up with a dad joke this week, and my dad is someone that will not have a serious conversation. He is just joke. And I came up with a good one this week based on something I saw in the news. Do you want to hear it? I know I've set it up.
Go on then.
It's because I feel like you're not going to get it now. Okay. I saw in the news they're going to do Sister Act 3. Whoopee!
Terrible. Please leave.
I can't leave. I've got wires everywhere for the podcast.
I'm going to quickly jump in actually with Brandwatch, because we don't do this every week, but I noticed a few brands. So I actually noticed a few brands in the morning when they got up. So Colgate toothpaste.
Ooh, okay.
And do you know Kirkland water? Kirkland is like the Costco brand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that they had Kirkland bottles of water. Then when we were doing design, we had Pixabay for stock images.
Yes, I'm impressed by this. There's a lot of brands.
And then pre-production represent Rode for the microphone, and also M Audio for the audio interface. It probably won't mean much to most of you, but I'm a bit of a nerd, so yeah.
That's good. We like the nerd content on this podcast.
Now for 3, I think, more of my updates, starting with the narrator update. So again, for any of you who don't know, myself and Greer have a competition going on.
See, you've admitted it. It's a competition. You want to win.
What is it normally? What is the
prediction?
Word? Prediction challenge, which we're doing, which when the narrator says like 4 a.m., 9 a.m., we guessed how many unique or distinct hours there would be throughout the whole series. And last week I showed some graphs to Greer, and we found out that there had been 16 distinct hours so far. And I can tell you, at the end of this week, there is still 16. So we had 4 a.m., 7 a.m., 10 a.m., 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Not many hours, actually. Only 5. And none of them were new. So I'm still on for 17.
I feel like you had some mathematical equations behind your prediction. You worked it out somehow. And I picked one out of the sky.
No, honestly, there was no... I mean, maybe I had 30 seconds of thought, but I did not do any plotting.
Can't believe it.
That will be next series when I've got some data.
Oh my, that's why you're doing it. Yeah, I can't believe that. I was holding out hope we'd have some more distinct hours this week so I can push the numbers up to get to my 20. So we've only got 2 weeks left. How on earth are they going to say enough hours for me to win?
I don't know.
I'll hold out hope.
However, you do have some more positive news coming your way, because one of our predictions has now finished, because we have finished the team challenge, I believe, because the interviews and the final will not be Nexus versus Supreme. And you did indeed win. I said 6-2 to Nexus. You said 7-1. It was indeed 7-1. So well done there.
I finally got one.
And finally, secretary segment. Again, a very quick update this week. I've been doing some digging, some pausing the television, and 2 interesting things. Actually, the spreadsheet came in focus this week. So finally. I could see a part of the expenses, and it looked like they were spending £425 on marketing.
Oh, interesting.
That's all I saw, apart from the fact that they don't name their sheets. You know, Excel has like different tabs.
You've got to name them.
Yeah, it was just sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. So that is your secretary update.
So we've spoken about the secretary. I think it's only right that we go back to the boardroom and discuss what on earth was going on in there, because it was quite an explosive scene with people being brought back in for a third time. I'm pleased that Phil finally got a win. At least he completed his apprentice journey once and got a win one time.
But he might still get our predictions right and be in the finals.
He might even win.
You never know. You never know.
No, exactly. I was surprised with... Well, I say I was surprised. Curry cheese is bad, but I thought at least some people might have bought some, at least. But then the other team, Phil's team, the supermarket, bought 15,000 of them, which that's quite a lot. So I thought as soon as they read that out, Phil's team was definitely one. But yeah, they said bad branding and bad taste, so none of it was good for Rachel's team.
Yeah, not what you want to hear. You never want 0 orders, especially this late in the process. But there we go. It was, and I think I did call it early. I did send you a message saying Gotta be a double firing.
Because we like Lord Sugar's bad jokes and we've done some of our own. I said we. I've done some of my own bad jokes this week. I really enjoyed what he said about Phil. He said, "You're rare as a toilet roll in the pandemic, and I couldn't get rid of you. You're like damp."
I actually missed the toilet roll joke.
Oh, how could you?
But I got the damp one.
The bit I really didn't like, though, obviously, Feluso had gone. Okay, she didn't do that great. Kind of expected. Now, Steve, he starts begging for his life at one point. I've got nothing to go back to. Yeah. I've got no comfort blanket. I was thinking, surely you want to show Lord Sugar that your business or your, professional life is thriving or has been good or whatever. You don't want to start being like, if I leave now, I'm not going to be able to feed my family or something. It was a little bit too much, I thought. Yeah,
I did think that was an interesting dynamic. Maybe... Did Lord Sugar set that up though? Because he asked why should you still be in? Why should you not be fired? Or why will you get my investment? But then there was a bit of toing and froing. As soon as Steve went in with the, I've got nothing to fall back on, then we were going Rachel, Steve, Rachel, Steve. And yeah, it was the passion was coming across because, they are so close to the final 5, the interview stage, and fair enough. I think nothing, there's no malice there, but I think you could tell they both really wanted it. They could see the interview stage in sight and they're really going for it.
They really were. And yeah, poor Steve, I thought his eyes were welling up at one point. He was let go. Obviously Lord Sugar was deciding whether he was someone he wanted to work with, not whether, he was a good business person or not. He did sort of say regrettably yet again that he is leaving, which was quite sad to see Steve go because we haven't seen, I don't think, a lot of him. There have been other personalities that have been quite big, so sort of a quiet one has left, but Rachel still continues. This week, Phil got to have his first treat, which was a Michelin star experience at the house. Now, I wonder what you thought of that, because I feel like Phil's been waiting for all this time to leave the house and do something fun, and his treat was at home.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as they said the house, I was like, oh, for goodness sake. But do you know what? Michelin star experience. If a Michelin star chef came to my house, I would find that quite special, to be honest. So it's better than some. Like, I think middle of the road, maybe. I think luxury, actually. Borderline luxury. I don't know. I don't know if it would be better if it wasn't at the house or not, but not too bad. A lot better than last week. My best part of the show, as always, Apprentice News. I wanna hear those behind the scenes facts and interesting stuff, especially ahead of a grilling next week.
And you are correct to be excited about the grilling next week, because the things I have found out for Apprentice News this week are all about the interview stage, because they are the episode that lots of fans of the show wait for, because it's brutal. The people that we've seen, trying to get through all the challenges for the last few weeks, they finally get ripped apart. And we get to hear actually about why they're there in the first place, what their business ideas are. And it's an episode that's slightly rooted in reality a bit more. It's not all frantic running around. But with that sort of, I guess, more humdrum type talking about my business, we get the real big guns in. Claude Littner comes back. We've got Claudine Collins, Linda Plant and Mike Sutar as well. One thing that I know you've seen already, James, is that Lord Sugar has said that he found the interviews last season quite uncomfortable to watch, actually, which is quite surprising. I think maybe he thought, actually tone it down a little. So in an interview with Digital Spy, Lord Sugar actually says that this time he's going to make sure that it isn't too harsh, which is what he thought it was last time. And he said he wasn't there when it was recorded previously. Interesting. He says, I'm not making any excuses. See, he heard my train of thought. But he says he doesn't think it's entertaining that way when it's too mean. It used to be entertaining. He thinks the boardrooms with himself in are very entertaining, he says.
Of course.
Exactly. But yeah, the last week 11, he said, was quite harsh last time, so he's going to rein it in a little. Now, are you kind of worried about that? You think it won't pack the same punch if they try and tone it down?
I think they'll still be quite brutal, to be honest. I think going into an interview and Claude immediately going, "You're a fraud, this interview's terminated," is probably, a good example of slightly too harsh.
Yeah, I love it.
So, yeah, I hope there's none of that. That's a
Yes.
bit extreme.
Yeah, they don't get their chance, I guess. They're just, a lot of them are quite young as well, we've realised throughout this process. So it may be the first time that some of them have written a business plan. So I think good on them. In an interview with Claude on the BBC, I found out, he said, some of the specific qualities and traits that he looks for in the candidates going forward. So we can see, well, whether we think that we'd get through, but also, do we think the candidates that are left are going to get through based on this criteria? So, Claude says he wants bright eyes, intelligence, a good business plan, honest and full answers to his questions. But that's not all. He wants insight, knowledge of the business and industry that they're proposing, an ability and a desire to succeed, and 100% focus. He doesn't want much, does he?
No, not much. I think I'm going to save it for next week, but I've got a few of my pet peeves from the interview stages that I think we need to address.
I love it. I'm looking forward to it. But I think the other person we've got to hear a bit from is Linda Plant. She is a character. I think she appears on the You're Fired show, I think, quite a lot too. And again, she was asked, obviously, are there any common mistakes that the candidates do when facing the interviewers? I guess they can't go back and change things now, but if you're looking to apply for next season, maybe these are some things that you might want to think about. So she mainly says a lack of preparation, which we've seen in the ones that make you laugh. People haven't bought their domain names and things like that, and they get caught out. A lack of research, and she says the lack of research is just unbelievable. They come in being too overconfident. They might have a poor idea, and she usually grills them on how they can back up what they've actually written. So the wild claims you've written in your business plan, you need to be able to back them up. And she said a lot of them haven't done answers because of their prep work. She does say about this series that she was very impressed by one candidate, and she gave this person a lot of compliments about their achievements and praises them. But this was prior to presenting her with their business plan rather.
Okay.
So she was quite impressed. So who knows if that all changed once she read the plan.
I wonder how long they get to make their business plan, and if, from knowing that you'll be on the show, there's a very quick turnaround, because surely not everyone can make a rubbish business plan. Like, there's rarely a good plan, I find.
Yeah.
And you would surely get someone to look over it.
Under the question, how do you balance both being tough and critical with the candidates? He says that the candidates who usually reach this stage are really excited, but they are completely exhausted because this process has been going on for so long, stuck in that terrible house, as we found out, without any contact to the outside
With those horrible
world.
Horrible
mattresses and too much pret-a-manger. He says that he has spent a considerable period in the week leading up to the interview. So, like, the whole week, obviously it's not the only thing he does, but he's had it for a long time and it sits in his mind to analyse their plans and to come up with challenges to their business plans. So he really gets time to scrutinise and think. He says, are they realistic, achievable, sensible? Do the numbers add up? Does their chosen industry have growth potential? Where will they expand? Have they considered the competitive landscape? And have they got the knowledge and ability to make a go of the plan? He's quite a scary man, isn't he? He's got a lot of time to think about it.
I actually heard in a Q&A with Lord Sugar that for enjoyment, what makes him laugh? And
Amazing.
he replied, he watches a lot of, don't know what word, junk TV, I guess.
Yeah.
and also the Johnny Depp trial, apparently.
So that's vegan cheese alternatives all wrapped up this week. And next week we move on to the interview stage, which is everybody's favourite episode. So we're both looking forward to diving into some of the savage comments that they come up with. Thanks for listening this week. If you do still need to subscribe to us, then head over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and click the follow button, and you can even rate our podcast as well. Please, 5 would be very, very nice. Also, head over to our Instagram to say hello to us and let us know whose elevator pitch you enjoyed the most this week. Chivery, was it? Or
No, it was
Chivesy.
Sorry,
I was thinking like chivalry. Or Easy Cheesies. We'll really like to hear from you, so do say hello on Instagram. Now, James, do you have a final thought for us?
My final thought is now Phil's losing streak has ended. He ends this streak with 9 losses in a row without getting fired, being by far the most successful consecutive loser in Apprentice history. Will he remain undefeated, or will someone beat him in the seasons to come? Who knows?
I feel like it could be a Guinness World Record for Phil there.
I guess if you had 10, you would have lost every team challenge and still get to the interviews.
Yeah. It's a it's a bad achievement, but a great one for Phil.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, seeing what happens to Phil and the rest of them next week. I'd like to see them all put in their place a little bit with the interviews. I think that'll be fun. But yeah, thanks again for listening. We'll be back here same time next week for more Back to the Boardroom. Bye from me.
See you next week. Bye.